Nike's onslaught of dunk releases continues into 2021, and today I'm reviewing one of the latest releases, the Nike Dunk Low UNLV. Thanks so much for tuning in today, whether this is your first time on the channel or your 100th time. I can't thank you guys enough for being here, and please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter because I usually give you early sneak peeks of upcoming reviews over there. But in today's video, I get the chance to review a shoe that I've been looking forward to for a long time. I love red, I like Nike Dunks, so this is just like a perfect combination for me. The Nike Dunk Low UNLV releases in the United States on February 18th for the very low retail price of just $100. And from what I can tell, there's actually a lot more pairs of this particular colorway than a lot of the previous Nike Dunks that have released over the last couple months. With that said though, don't expect this shoe to be that easy to get. Dunks are at the peak of their popularity right now, so even if you enter all the different raffles that you possibly can, there's still a pretty good chance that you won't be able to grab these for retail. If you're like me though, and you just had to have this shoe and you're willing to pay resale for it, I've actually left an affiliate link to GOAT in the description below where you can grab the shoe for yourself or just check the resale prices. So if you know or you've been following the history of the Nike Dunk, you probably recognize this colorway from the 1985 Be True to Your School pack. 1985 was the year that the Nike Dunk was first introduced, and it was introduced as sort of the team Nike basketball sneaker. And because of that, Nike decided to release the Nike Dunk High in the colorways of a few different universities that would be wearing the shoe. And as you probably could have guessed from the name of the shoe, this colorway was originally released for the University of Las Vegas. Now obviously when the Be True to Your School pack first released in 1985, it came out in the form of Nike Dunk Highs and not Nike Dunk Lows. So this is actually the first time, almost 35 years later, that we're getting a low top version of the Nike Dunk UNLVs. 2021. Yeah, almost 35 years later, well 36 years later. Now for you newer heads who don't remember this colorway from the Be True to Your School pack, and to be fair, I don't remember it from that pack, I wasn't around in 1985, you might remember this shoe releasing in the form of an off-white Nike Dunk Low. Now interesting tidbit, that off-white Nike Dunk Low collection was actually inspired by the Be True to Your School pack because Virgil is a huge Nike Dunk fan. So even though we've had a version of the Nike Dunk Low UNLVs in the form of the off-white sneaker, we actually have a version which looks a lot more like an OG or what could be an OG in this 2021 release. And I've got to say personally, just being a huge Jordan 1 fan, I'm drawn to like the simple Nike Dunks, the ones that really look like Jordan 1s. So while this colorway on this shoe isn't actually an original dunk, it does have a lot of callbacks and was heavily inspired by the Be True to Your School pack. But before we actually dive into the sneaker itself, let's take a quick look at the box. Yeah, it's just kind of your standard Nike red box. That's pretty much it. The official colorway of this shoe is medium gray, varsity red, white. But now let's dive into the sneaker itself and find out what makes up the Nike Dunk Low UNLV. So around the edge of the toe on the mudguard, you've got this really nice deep red color that comes in a very smooth leather. In the center of the toe, you've got some nice medium gray that also comes in that same leather. It's not incredible feeling leather, it's a little bit stiff. It's actually not as soft as the off-white Nike Dunk Lows that released a couple years ago, but it's pretty much par for the course when it comes to Nike Dunk Lows. As you move up in the shoe, you get to these deep red flat laces that actually have this really interesting sort of lighter red speckling in them. I don't actually think that the Syracuse Dunks from last year have this speckling. I've only ever noticed it on this colorway. Regardless, it's a nice detail and it adds a little bit of interest to the laces on the shoe. Underneath the laces, you've got this medium gray nylon tongue, which actually has this deep red piping around the edges. And then in the center of the tongue, you've got a gray tag that has the Nike branding embroidered in red. The sock liner of the shoe is pretty standard and comes in red mesh, and then the insole of the sneaker comes in gray with a very interesting bright orange Nike logo on the heel. Now, I'm not totally sure why they went with a bright orange on the heel and not a red that matches the rest of the sneaker, because that's usually what Nike does when it comes to their logos on heels, but I mean, it's there. Not much you can do about it, and you're not going to see it, so it shouldn't bother you that much. As far as sizing and fit, I would say that these Nike Dunk Low UNLVs fit pretty much true to size, or whatever size you wear in Nike Dunk Lows. They also fit very similarly to a pair of Air Jordan 1s, which makes sense because they're a very similar shoe. But as I always say, if you have the chance to try this shoe on first before you buy it, make sure to do that to make sure that you're grabbing the right size for you. Continuing back in the shoe, you've got more of these deep red leather overlays with a medium gray midfoot panel, as well as a deep red Nike swoosh. Again, the leather doesn't feel bad, it just doesn't feel premium or special. I mean, it's a $100 shoe, you can't really expect that much. Then moving around to the heel of the shoe, you've got more of that deep red leather paneling around the heel counter. You've got some more medium gray leather, as well as the Nike logo embroidered in medium gray. I mean, to be honest, the upper of this shoe is very simple, but I think that's what a lot of the appeal is with this sneaker. It's a simple, clean, very wearable look. As you move down on the sneaker, you get your one hit of white with this bright white Nike Dunk midsole, and then finally moving to the bottom of the sneaker, you've got this UNLV red rubber outsole. The UNLV Nike Dunk lows are about as clean as you can get when it comes to a Nike Dunk low colorway. If you're a fan of red and you're a fan of gray, I think this is definitely a great way to go, and if you go to UNLV, even better. Now, some good news for you if you're a fan of Nike Dunk lows but you just don't like this colorway. On the same day, you're also getting the release of the Hyper Cobalt colorway as well as the Coast colorway. So there's two blue options for you if you're more into blue than you are into red and gray. I don't really have much else to say about this sneaker. It's clean, it's simple, it's relatively comfortable. It's not a bad sneaker, and it's definitely something you should pick up if you like the colorway and you like the shoe. But now I would like to hear from you and whether you're going for this shoe when it releases on February 18th, or maybe whether you're going for some of the other colorways. So make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.